Okay, now the audio's working. Now is the audio working? Hey, if you can hear me, say yes. Or say, let's go! Let's go! Can you hear the audio now? Is our audio working? We got audio? Mateo! Good morning, we hear you. Come on out, Jason. Jason, okay, so what I was saying is, Jason, thank you, Bob, thank you. I'm glad we got the audio working. I appreciate your support. Yes, Uncle Dr. Dan. Is it Uncle or is it Doctor? Oh, it's Uncle Doctor. Good morning, Uncle Dr. Dan. Jason, don't think I didn't see the profile picture change. I got a notification on a like, and then I saw the profile picture, and I went to click on the profile picture, and it was a new profile picture. The guy, he's advanced. He's so advanced, he's in front of the curve. Respect. Or as the Brazilians say, respect. Good morning. So if you're new here, my name is Will. We go live all the time. We learn how to buy assets that cash flow. We're going to evaluate some deals live right now in just a minute. Is it right now or is it just a minute? He said both. We're going to find out together. But the name of the game is we take our active income, we stage our stash, we get it ready to then go out there and buy assets. Those assets kick off profit. That profit fills the bucket back up, rinse, wash, repeat until you're financially free. So we take the cash, we stash the cash gets ready, we buy the assets produce the profit. The profit, rinse, wash, repeat, you're financially free. Not rocket surgery. You were on a roll yesterday. I was on the side of the road. Couldn't get a really good one. Good morning. Good morning. So if you're new here, let's jump over to the big board and let me show you really quick, fast, in a hurry of the philosophy that we practice and we talk about all the time. Top of the morning, Jared Walker. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning. Good to see you. So the name of the game, this is not rocket surgery. If you want to retire without waiting until you're 77 years old, until you're 153 years old, here's what we do. We go out there and we buy assets. Everybody in the chat, type A. If you're in the comments right now, type A. If you're not in the comments, well then get in the comments and type A. I want to clarify what we talk about and what these things mean. Rainey Goldstein, good morning. Mateo, Myra, good morning. Jared, good morning, sunshine. Bright and early on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Jason, Gary, good morning. So an A represents asset. A represents asset. An asset, Joe, is something that produces income that disconnects from our time. So if I go out there and I buy an asset, that asset is going to be the thing that produces the income. That's called passive income. So the asset produces passive income. What are some examples of assets that produce income? I like the way you handle your pencil. Matt, eyes up here. Oh my gosh, man, I can't even handle my pencil, man. Okay, so an asset is something that produces income that's not connected to our time. In the comments below, what are some examples of assets that produce profit? One example is I can buy a rental property. But you give me another example. What are other examples of assets that produce profit that don't require us to be there? You tell me, boss. Are there any other examples? Storage unit, Henry. Yes. Storage. So I could buy a storage unit. Stocks, specifically dividend stocks, if I want to produce income. So let's call it a dividend stock. You can buy growth stocks for sure. I'm not anti-growth stocks. I'm just saying that by this definition, producing income, it's not a growth stock. That's appreciation. Laundromat, let's go. Car wash, laundromat. Any other examples? Parking lot, golf simulator, parking, Airbnb, golf simulator, let's just call it like a business, whatever, so on and so forth. So these are examples of assets. All of these things are examples of assets that produce profit that don't require us to be there. I don't have to be there to provide shelter. The rental property provides the shelter. I don't have to be there to wash the car. The car wash washes the car. So the asset provides the value to the marketplace. The people pay for the value. They don't pay for me. I have disconnected my time. That's how you get financially free. Let's continue on this train of thought. Assets that produce passive income. Passive income. Tractor trailer parking is getting very big. 100%. No income, no golf. Let's go. Good morning, Clark Capital. So assets that produce passive income when greater than or equal to your expenses, you're financially free. If you want to learn how to get financially free, this is the formula. Watch. If my personal living expenses for groceries, utilities, car payments, rent, whatever you got going on is, say, $5,000 a month, and I go out there and I buy an asset, let's say I buy a self-storage facility, and it gives me $1,000 a month in profit. In the comments, let me know, how many assets do I need until I'm financially free? Fill in the box. What goes in the box? If assets that produce passive income, when greater than or equal to expenses, you're financially free, how many assets do I need until I'm free? How many? David, Jared, in the comments, let me know. How many assets do I need until I'm financially free? My tip fell off. The tip of my pencil just popped right off. You ever had that happen? Oh my gosh, what a rough way to start your morning. The tip just pops right off. 5 is the answer. You only need 5 assets. But do we stop at 5? No, we get 6, we get 7, we get 8. That's the name of the game. But assets that produce passive income, when greater than or equal to your expenses, you're financially free. More than 5, for sure. 6, 7, 8. But what gets you to your goal? Greater than or equal to. If income comes in that you don't have to work for because you've acquired assets, that income covers your expenses, you can stop working. That's the name of the game. Good morning, Renee 5 Guys Miller. No, it's Renee 1 Guy Miller. Good morning, sunshine. Good to see you. Assets that produce profit. Now, let me show you why we play this game and we don't do traditional financial planning. That's not to say that you can't save and invest if that's what you want to do, but that's not going to get you to where you want to go. Good morning. Good morning. If you're new here, my name is Will. We go live all the time. We learn how to buy assets that cash flow. If you want to hang out with us every day, come up here and tap on the follow button somewhere up there. We're really early today. I've got to leave early this morning. Here in Texas, we have something called the Unaccompanied Veteran Memorial. So I'm going to a funeral of, I think, an airman. He left for World War II, never came home. They finally found him, and it's an unaccompanied burial. So anyway, I got to get out of here at like 9 a.m. Central Time. So we started early so we can end early. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see everybody. So if you're new here and you want to hang out with us every day, tap on the follow button. We learn how to buy assets at Cashflow. Let's go over here. What type of assets? An asset is something that produces income that doesn't require your time, Billy Bob. Could be whatever you want it to be. Could be a rental property or a self-storage or dividend stocks or a car wash or a laundromat or I'm going to an auction on my break. I love it. Renee, let's get some foreclosures, baby. We're going to cover a lot of ground on this. How many of you want to talk about real estate today? Type R in the chat for real estate. How many of you want to talk about foreclosures like what Renee's talking about? Type F in the chat for foreclosures. We can evaluate both of those things together if you desire to. Good morning, Rebecca. Amigo VIP. F, foreclosures, real estate. I might have time for self-storage. If you want to get into self-storage, type S in the chat. Okay, we're going to cover a lot of ground. But let me show you this. Let's talk about this. What is the reason? How did we get to the conclusion of assets are the answer? How did we figure this out? I'm going to show you what we walked through, but let's break this down really quick. Yahoo Finance drops this article, and they ask the question, Henry, we'll get to storage. I got you, baby. We get to the question, is $3 million enough money to comfortably retire at age 65? What say you? What do you think? Yes or no? Type Y for yes. $3 million is plenty of money. Type in for no way, Jose. Is $3 million enough money to comfortably retire at 65? What do you think? Yes or no? So you look at your 401k, your IRA, your Roth IRA, 403b, nurses, 457, whatever you're into. $3 million in there. Is that enough? Is that enough? Yes, with an interest-bearing account. 3 million buckaroos. Yes or no? Let's take inventory, and then we're going to evaluate it. Is $3 million enough? And we're going to run through the math on all of this stuff. Yes, yeah. I think most people say yes. It depends on your lifestyle. Okay, fair. So let's take a look at the math. How do I get to a $3 million retirement account? So this is a $3 million account. And there's only 3 variables. There's only 3 variables of how you save and invest your money. That's it. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. How you get to a $3 million retirement account is you must save and invest $30,000 a year. This is not my idea. This is math. And you can argue with a lot of things and win, but math ain't one of them. $30,000 a year for 30 years straight at a 7% rate of return gets you to $3 million. 30 grand a year is what you have to start saving 30 years ago to get to your destination. So really quick pop quiz. How many of you are saving $30,000 a year? That's $2,500 a month. Type 1 for yes. Easy. Piece of cake. $2,500 a month. I've been saving that for years. Type 2 for I'm working on it. Oh. This is what you have to save and invest. $30,000 a year to get to $3 million. $2,500 a month over and over and over and over and over for 30 years straight. No days off. No days off. Anybody? So let's get inventory of this. Let's jump over here. Let's walk through this. In order to get to a $3 million retirement account, because we need to determine if this is enough money for us, in order to get to a $3 million retirement account, you have to save Get to it, man. Lewis, you've been poor for 40 years. You need me to fix you in 40 seconds? The lesson you need to learn, Lewis, is patience. Let's slow it down so Lewis can learn. There's 3 variables to every financial plan. Lewis, you've got to save and invest money. That's variable number 1. You've got to earn interest. That's variable number 2, Lewis. And then you have to trade your life, time. What we're talking about here is how do I get to a $3 million retirement account? If you want to have a $3 million retirement account, you have to save $30,000 a year, Lewis. You have to earn a 7% rate of return, Lewis. And you have to do that for 30 years. Everybody says? Lewis, that's correct. This is what you have to do to get to a $3 million retirement account. Problem number 1. You ready? In order to save and invest $30,000 a year, Lewis, you have to earn more than $30,000 a year because you've got to pay for your living expenses. Well, one of the rules of thumb of financial planning is that you save and invest 10% of your income. If $30,000 is 10% of my income, what must I earn to save 10%, which equals $30,000? Let me know in the chat. If 10% of my income represents $30,000, Lewis, what does my actual income need to be? Jared, let's go. Faster than Lewis because Jared's paying attention. Lewis is asleep at the wheel. $300,000. Step number 1 to get to a $3 million retirement account is you must earn $300,000 a year. Oh! Do you do that 1 year? Do you do that at your peak earning years from 55 to 65? Negative. You do that for 30 years straight. You have to earn $300,000 a year for 30 years straight in order for you to afford 10%, which is $30,000 a year in investing. Just make sense? Everybody with me? Over and over and over again. Let's take inventory. Do you think most Americans, yes or no, type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you think most Americans earn $300,000 a year? Furthermore, do you think most Americans earn $300,000 a year for 30 years straight? Negative, 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 negative. That's barrier number 1. Let's just pretend miraculously you jump over that barrier, piece of cake. Congratulations, now you're saving and investing, you're doing this thing, $3 million retirement account. Let's get to barrier number 2. Barrier number 2, congratulations, you have a $3 million retirement account. Yay! Not so fast, my friend. You can't just start taking out all that money. If you take out, too much money, you outlive your money. You drain your entire account. So there's a hotly debated rule in the financial planning community. We're going to talk about it just to give us an estimate. And it's called the 4%. It's a rule of thumb. It's a rule of thumb. And the idea is that if I have a retirement account, in this example, $3 million, if I take out 4% of that, that's going to give me about the amount I can take out without outliving my money. That means my $3 million will last my entire lifetime. That's the idea. So if I take out 4% of a $3 million retirement account, how much money is that? Let me know in the comments. How much money is that? What is my retirement income? Lewis, pay attention. What is my retirement income? 4% of 3 million equals what? Lewis is having a hard time with the math. That's okay, Lewis. Money doesn't know how dumb you are. Thank God. $120,000 a year is my retirement income. So here's what's really interesting. In order for me to get to enough money to have the $3 million retirement account, I had to earn $300,000 a year. But then I get to retirement, I have to reduce my lifestyle. I had to reduce my lifestyle all the way down to $120,000 a year. What that means is every $1,000 that I spend today, every $1,000 that you spend today, you have to reduce it down to only $400 because this is a reduction all the way down to 40% of what you're used to living on. Every $1,000 that you spend now, you can only spend $400 in retirement. How many of you like that idea? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. You were earning $300,000 in order to invest enough money to get to a $3 million retirement account. When you get to a $3 million retirement account, you can't take out too much, otherwise you outlive your money. So you have to reduce your lifestyle. Oh! This is every retirement plan. This is just how the math has to work in order for you to not outlive your money. But that's not even the worst part. It gets worse. I know. Deep breath. let's say you sit down with your financial advisor. By the way, come here, check this out. What are we talking about? If you're new here, my name is Will. I go live all the time and we learn how to buy assets that cash flow. Why? Because assets that cash flow are how you get financially free without waiting until you're 103. If you want to hang out with us every day, just come up here and tap on the follow button somewhere. I go live all the time. If you want to hang out, cool. I teach you what I did. Did I read a book last night and tell you what I read? No. This is what I did with my life since I was 20. So if you want to hang out with us every day, just tap on the follow button. What we're talking about now is this article dropped by Yahoo Finance. Is $3 million enough money to comfortably retire at age 65? If you have $3 million, is that enough to comfortably retire? Well, let's come over here and we're breaking this down. So that's why we're going through the math. So let's back up. Barrier number 3, you sit down with your financial advisor, Mr. or Mrs. Financial Advisor, 30 years ago, which represents 1996. Did you know that? Lewis, did you know that? 30 years ago was 1996. Oh! Fast forward in time, now it's 2026. You sit down with your financial advisor in 1996, you put down the Tupac, the Nirvana, and you say, what was the question? They say, how much money do you want for purchasing power? For purchasing power, 30 years from now when you want to retire. And you go, I don't know, I want to have purchasing power of $100,000. Mr. and Mrs. Financial Advisor says, great, I'll take it from here. You come back to me 30 years from now, and I will make sure that your investments have enough money in them where your purchasing power can buy you $100,000 of stuff. Good morning, Carl. What it do, baby? So in the comments, let me know. Because of inflation, the cost of goods going up over time, grocery prices getting more expensive, gas prices getting expensive. Over 30 years, the cost of living gets more expensive. In the comments, good morning, Pavandeep. Good morning, sunshine. In the comments, what do you think you need to withdraw in 2026 to buy the same $100,000 of stuff? Do you think you need to take out 150 grand? 170? You have to spend more money to buy the same tank of gas. You have to spend more money to buy the same basket of groceries. How much money do you think you need to take out in 2026 that buys the same stuff you bought in 1996? Is it 100 grand? Is it just $100,000 buys you $100,000? Or is it more? 250, 300, 200. Jason says double. Elise, good morning, Elise. Good morning, TJ Evans. 250? More? More? Yeah. You ready? You have to take out about $212,000 in 2026 to have the same purchasing power of $100,000 in 1996. So you want to buy the same basket of groceries, you have to take out more than double the money. You spend twice as much to get the same amount. You don't get more, you get the same amount. So inflation eats away your purchasing power over time because things get more expensive. So when you take out your $120,000 from your retirement account of $3 million, when you take out $120,000, it doesn't buy you $120,000 of stuff. It buys you about half. Good afternoon. Good to see you, Jeff. So $120,000 of purchasing power only buys you about $60,000 of stuff. Does this make sense to everybody? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Does that make sense? I take out $120,000 from my retirement account of $3 million, but it only buys me about half of what it used to. Oh, good morning. Added early, baby. But that's not even the worst part. Don't worry, it gets worse. Oh my gosh, that's a hell of a pencil. Thank you. The worst part is that, you ready? There are more people investing in tax-deferred, delayed accounts, meaning their tax bill is going to come due on the money they've been saving and investing when they're in retirement and they no longer have active income to pay that tax bill. So they have to pay the tax bill that comes in the future from the proceeds of the money that they've been saving for 30 or 40 or 50 years. I don't know why this is a thing, but that's what people do, and it's the most common overwhelmingly. There's 401ks, there's IRAs, there's 403bs, there's 457s. Everybody's deferring, they're delaying their tax bill. The tax bill's still due. There's no tax savings. You're just kicking the can down the road to some point in time when you're in retirement and you no longer have active income. That's when they decide to pay their tax bill. This is overwhelmingly the most popular retirement strategy. There are more people that have a tax-deferred 401k than there are homeowners in the United States. So we're going to use tax deferral as this strategy because it's what everybody's doing for some reason. So when I take out this $120,000 from my retirement account in retirement, I don't net $120,000. I have to pay taxes on that first, which means that after my tax bill, I only net $96,000. So that's the actual cash that I get to keep from my retirement account after paying taxes in retirement. But it doesn't buy me $96,000 worth of stuff. Because of inflation, my purchasing power is not what it used to be, which means my purchasing power is only half. So on a $3 million retirement account, in retirement, my purchasing power is only $48,000. Oh! So let's answer the question. Let's jump back over here. If all that math is correct, that question is $3 million enough to retire comfortably at 65? If your purchasing power in retirement is $48,000 a year, is that enough money? Yes or no? Type Y for yes, type N for no. What do you think? $3 million retirement account gives you $48,000 of purchasing power. Is that enough for you to comfortably retire? What do you think? Oh! That's what I'm saying. So what we do around here is we buy assets. We buy assets compared to when, compared to now. What are you talking about? What is your question? We buy assets at cash flow. Assets that produce profit when greater than expenses, you're financially free. We build based off of the income from the assets, but we also have the appreciation of the asset. The asset goes up in value over time, like buying land and it goes up over time. I also have the tax savings, the Schedule E tax return, over and over and over and over and over. Cool? Awesome, awesome. So if you're new here, my name is Wet Willie. We go live all the time. We learn how to buy assets at Cashflow. Let's get into some deals right now. $96,000 a year is definitely livable today. You're purchasing, okay, let me slow down. All good. So when you take out $96,000 in retirement, which is 30 years from now or whatever, your purchasing power would be $48,000. Good morning, Jared. Yeah, my name is Wet Willie. So $3 million retirement account would give you $48,000 of purchasing power. Good morning. Oh! Oh! So if you're new here, good morning. My name is Will. We go live all the time. If you want to hang out with us, come up here and tap on the follow button. We're going to get into asset acquisition. How many of you want to learn how to buy assets? From rental properties to self-storage to laundromats, just type A in the chat. Good morning, Alaska Bills. Good morning. You want to get into some assets? I was going to go through this, but we can talk about assets if you want. You tell me, boss. If you want to learn how to buy assets, we'll evaluate some together. Just type A. Diane, good morning. Good morning. All right, let's look at some assets. We'll do one after another, after another, after another. I'm going to teach you some strategy. We're going to get into this. Let's get to some strategy. So come over here, let's clean off the board, and let's walk through a couple of different things. Good morning, top of the morning with you, top of the morning. All right, so the reason that we buy assets that cash flow is because that's how you actually retire. You replace income. Retirement planning is all about income replacement. It has nothing to do with how much money you save. It has nothing to do with like how good your investment is or what your, none of that stuff. What matters is income replacement. Cool? So not to sell my rental property. I don't know anything about you. I'm not giving you any advice. Good morning. All right, so let's come over here. The conversation that we talk about all the time is we get our cash ready, we stack our cash, we go out there to buy assets. So let's walk through a little bit of this stuff. You ready? Let's take this example. I'm going to teach you strategy. I'm going to take the strategy from real estate, and then once we understand this strategy, I'm going to go apply it to self-storage. Then we're going to practice learning about self-storage. How many of you want to learn about buying storage units? Type S in the chat. We've got many of those units all across the southeast. I'm going to walk you through some of that. Macheo, hola, mi amigo. So we're going to get our cash ready. We're going to understand the strategy. I'm going to take that strategy in real estate, make sure we all understand the different working operations of that strategy. Then we're going to apply that to self-storage, rinse, wash, repeat. When you understand strategy transcends asset type, you've got the game. You just need to practice over and over and over again. So now we're going to learn how to buy this asset. This strategy is what we're learning. This strategy is called the Burr method. We're going to buy a piece of junk. As you can tell, that's a piece of junk. We're going to buy the piece of junk. Because it's a piece of junk, it needs work. That means we're going to rehab it, buy rehab. I'm going to rehab it, fix it up, clean it up, make it look nice. After I rehab it, I'm going to put a renter in that asset. They're going to pay me income every single month. Buy, rehab, rent. Buy, rehab, rent. I rehab it, then I rent it. After I rent it, I call my finance company. I say, hey, can you reappraise it and give me a new loan? I'm going to extract my profit from the asset. Buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat the process if you choose to. That's Burr. Everybody say Burr. Burr. We're going to learn how to buy this asset live right now. I'm going to walk you through the math. We're going to evaluate the deal. Buy, piece of junk, rehab it, fix it up, rent it, refinance, repeat. Brr, brr. And if you're new here, by the way, and you didn't get a chance, I've got a free class I'm teaching. I haven't taught this class in a long time. I've got a free class I'm teaching Saturday, August 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you want to learn how to buy assets, that cash flow, the class is free. If you want to be in the class, just say me in the comments, and I'll show you how to get registered. We're going to learn 3 things. How do I find assets? Where are they? Number 2, when I find them, how do I evaluate them? Just say me in the chat, and I'll show you how to register for free. And then number 3, what if I'm scared? What if I'm worried? What if I'm overwhelmed? What if I don't want to make any mistakes or take any unnecessary risk? I'm going to teach you how to take fake money, it's not real, and buy fake AI-generated assets. I'm going to teach you our process so you can practice without the risk over and over and over again. So if you want to register, it's free. Just tap on this guy down at the bottom. Now, listen, I only have 200 spots. So if you can't be there Saturday, August 8th, please don't save a spot and then block it for somebody else. So if you want to be there, come down here, and if you can be there, then go save your spot. Tap on this, it'll pop up. I think you scroll a little bit and it says class. Really quick. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so when you tap on this guy, it pops up and it says class, how to get assets. One more time and then we're going to get to the class. Bam, right there. Once you get registered, come in the comments and say done, but let's take a look at this deal. $61,000 buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. We go inside. Piece of junk. Piece of junk. So who won? Good morning, Jason. Good morning. I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, so this is the deal. This is the inner workings of the deal. $61,000 is the asking price. So let's take a look at this. This deal we purchased for $61,000. I put money down. That's my down payment. So my down payment, done. I'll see you Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. Central Time. How do I get assets at Cashflow? I'll see you there, Rick. So I put my down payment. Everybody in the comments type DP. The first money out of my pocket is my DP. I pull my DP out and I slap it on the table. That's my down payment. So my down payment to buy this deal, whoosh, $12,000. But I also have to repair it. So I reach into my pocket and next to my DP, I grab my repair money, $30,000. Let's DP this house. That's right. So 30 grand comes out of my pocket. Whoosh. Total out of pocket is $42,000. I put $12,000 down, $30,000 in repairs. $42,000 is my input, my investment into this asset. But I get a loan for $49,000. Now what happens? After I repair it, I put a good morning. After I repair it and fix it up, I put a renter inside of it, but then I refinance it too. So check this out. I call my lender up and I say, hey, Mr. Lender, can you reappraise my property? Because I want to borrow against the value of the asset. I want to take my profit out. They say, yeah, we're on our way. So I call them up, they come by, they give me an ARV. If you're new to real estate, type ARV. I want you to learn the lingo as we go. ARV, it represents after repair value. I bought a piece of junk, I fixed it up, I cleaned it up. ARV, after repair value. My after repair value, according to the appraiser, is $160,000. They give me a new loan, 80% loan to value. 80% of 160 means they issue a new loan of $128,000. When they give me a new loan of $128,000, the first thing they do is pay off my old loan. So that $49,000 loan gets paid off. Everybody say bye-bye or type B in the chat. I want you to remember this point because sometimes people get lost and they forget we paid this loan off. So just type B in the comments. This loan goes bye-bye. $49,000 gets paid off. So they issue a new loan. Why? Because I have a new value. Got it. The new loan, first thing is pays off the old loan. Then the net difference, 128 minus 49, is $78,000 cash. They direct deposit that $78,000 cash in my pocket. Question. If the $78,000 direct deposit into my HIP National Bank comes from the proceeds of a loan, is it taxed? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Is the $78,000 taxed? What do you think? Yes or no? It came from a loan. Is it taxed? You do not pay tax on a loan. When you got a car loan, did you get taxed? Every time you swipe your credit card, which is a loan, even though it's temporary and you pay it off every month, Do you get taxed? No. In the United States, you don't pay income tax on debt. It's not income. You don't pay tax on debt. What? So they direct deposit $78,000 into my pocket. That's tax-free because it's proceeds from a loan. I recoup my down payment and repair costs. Remember, I put $12,000 down. I put $30,000 in repairs. That's $42,000. I get that money back. In addition to that, I get to keep the difference, which is $35,000 in profit down at the bottom. So the $35,000 in profit came from the proceeds of a loan. That's my profit. I bought the house, I fixed up the house, I refinanced it against a higher value, and then I get $35,000 tax-free. Everybody see this? Type Y for yes. That $35,000 did not exist. Oh! Where am I going to get this money from? I don't know. Do you have income? If you don't have income, we got to go get some income first. What value do you bring to the marketplace? How many of you are like, wait a minute, that's not actual profit because it came from a loan? Type L in the chat. Zaki said it, but you still have that loan though. How many of you agree with Zaki? Type L in the chat, and we'll talk about this. Let me try to pin this comment. How many of you agree with that? That's not really profit. It's a loan. No. Let's go talk about this live right now, okay? If you didn't get a chance to register, I've got the free class Saturday, August 8th. We're going to go break down this loan. But if you want to learn how to buy assets, I'm going to teach you 3 things in that class. If you want to be in that class, it's free. Just say me in the comments. 3 things. Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the class is free. Number 1, how do I find assets? Where are they? I'm going to teach you that in the class. Just say me in the comments. Number 2, when I find the assets, what do I do? How do I evaluate them? I'm also going to teach you that for free. Just say me in the comments. And then number 3, what if I'm scared, worried, overwhelmed, uncertain? What I want to take unnecessary risk? I got you. How do I take fake money and buy fake AI-generated assets? What? I'm going to teach you that Saturday. The class is free, August 8th. If you want to register, just tap on this guy. It'll pop up, and then it just says class, and you click register. If you can't make it, please don't register because I only have 200 spots. It's on Zoom, so I can share my screen and show you deals behind the scenes, but there's only 200 spots in the Zoom room. So if you can't make it, please don't reserve a spot. But if you can make it and you want to be there, cool, go ahead. Just tap on this guy. It'll pop up. You can save your spot, but let's jump over here. Let's talk about this loan thing. So I took the money out of the asset, and it's a loan. Is it really profit? Let's break it down. You ready? Hey, and then once you get registered, come in the comments and say done. So I know you're good to go. You're good to go. Cool? All right. So let's just break this down very simply. I bought an asset for $60,000. In this example, I fixed it up, cleaned it up, and made it look nice, and now it's worth more money. Now it's worth $160. So this is going to seem elementary, but I need you to answer the question. Which number's bigger? 60 and 160. Can I record it and send it? I don't do any recordings. I do everything live. Ryan, this is live. I love the interactions. I love to ask the questions. I love to help and answer. That's why I do everything live. So on Saturday, August 8th, when I go live and you have questions, I will answer your questions. In terms of the loan, which number is bigger, 60 or 160? Let me know in the chat. Type the bigger number, 60 or 160? We got to get clarity on which number is bigger. Let me see. The pencil. Which one's bigger? The pencil's bigger. Yeah, hey, eyes up here. 160, of course. Good morning, Ms. Jackson. 160,000 is bigger. So if I want to IQ test, Badgett Robert failed. That's okay. Just because you're an idiot, that's all good. Money doesn't know how dumb we are. Great news. How many of you are like, amen, hallelujah? Oh my gosh, if it knew, it would run. But it doesn't know because it has no consciousness. If I wanted to get access to my profit, and I have an asset that's worth 160, that's obviously bigger than 60. It's obvious to some of us. So if I wanted to get my profit, one of the ways is I could sell my asset. But what if, how many of you have kids and you want to buy assets and you want to pass your assets on to your kids? Type K in the chat for kids. Done. I'll see you Saturday, August 8th. Let's go. Missouri schools, let's go, baby. How many of you have kids you want to pass it on to your kids? Type K in the chat. Well, One of the ways to get access to your profit when you have an asset that's worth 60, but the value goes up to 160, one of the ways to get access to your profit is to sell it. But if that violates your personal goal of buying assets and pass it on to your children, well, then that doesn't make any sense, does it? What is another way that I can do both things? I can pass my assets on to my kids, and I can access the profit while I'm alive. How can I do that? Number 2, I can access my profit through a loan. So if my value was 60 and it went up to 160, I can call a lender and I can say, hey, I've got an asset that's worth 160. Will you lend me against the value of my asset? The lender says, yes. That's how we get to these numbers. My asset's worth 160, so I refinance and I take out a $128,000 loan. My $128,000 loan pays off my old loan. Net cash out 78 grand. I recoup my repair and down payment cost. My profit is $35,000. Where did the $35,000 come from? My new higher value. That's profit. You can't argue that it's not profit because where did it come from? Everybody type P in the chat for profit. Profit. Still profit. Are there expenses included in it? Yeah. When we borrow the money, we have to pay a mortgage expense. We're going to talk about that next. But it's still profit. Everybody type P in the chat. You're just accessing the profit differently. So now let's talk about the mortgage cost. If I get a loan, I have to incur a mortgage of, let's say, 7%. But I did not pay taxes, capital gains tax rate, of 20%. Which would you rather pay? Type M for 7%, type T for 20%. Let me know in the comments. Which would you rather incur? When you sell your asset, you pay 20% minimum in capital gains taxes, or you pay 7% in mortgage. What do you prefer? Which one? Yep, some of us have an IQ above the level of bean dip. What's up, Doc? Some of us don't. That's okay. Money doesn't know how dumb we are. Thank God. 7% mortgage is obviously the answer. Why is that? On my Schedule E tax return, I can deduct a portion of this. Oh, can't deduct a tax bill, baby. Oh, yeah. Furthermore, do I actually pay this expense? No. Check this out. I thought capital gains was like 45% on the federal side. No, it's not. So over here, let's take this number. So I have a mortgage on this asset because I refinanced. Let's say hypothetically my mortgage is $2,000 a month. Included in my mortgage is my interest. Let's say 7% interest is included in my $2,000. Well, what if I rent this thing out? So I have a renter. Let's say hypothetically the renter gives me $4,000 a month. So if it cost me $2,000 a month, but a renter has given me $4,000 a month, what is my profit in this transaction? Let me know, math majors. Let me know. $4,000 in income minus $2,000 in expenses equals what for profit? I've got $2,000 a month in profit. The renter gave me $4,000. I've got a $2,000 mortgage that includes my interest rate that we're calculating, 7%, but I keep $2,000 in profit every single month. Question, who pays that interest? Is it me or is it the renter? Type M for me, type R for renter. If I'm keeping $2,000 in profit and somebody gave me the money and then I pay it and I still have profit, who actually paid that interest? Got it? Good morning. Good morning. The renter pays it. The renter pays it. You still have $2,000 taxable. What? What? We have profit. Your profit's taxed? Yeah, it goes on your Schedule E tax return. Would you turn down profit because you have to pay tax on it? Yes or no? Would you say, no, thank you, profit. I don't want to have to pay taxes. Would you take the profit? What? What are they smoking this morning? Are we okay? Good morning. Like I said, some of this is an IQ test. If your IQ is below the level of bean dip, do not proceed. You might want to scroll. Maybe go to the dancing channels. Cool? Just because there's profit doesn't mean we don't take it. I don't know if you know this, but profit is bigger than the tax bill you got. Cool. Good morning. Come here, check this out. And also, if you want to hang out with us and learn how to lower your taxes, my name is Will. I own a CPA tax firm. I'm in all 50 states, and we specialize in helping people lower their taxes to the legal minimum. Good morning, CJ Sizzle. I love bean dip. Good morning. Good morning. Always take the profit. Always take the profit. Yeah, if you have a bean dip brain, then you want to stay with us and take more notes. Good morning. So this is the game. This is one of the things that we do. We buy assets that cash flow. We've got profit from the deal. We increase the value of it using the BRRRR method. Now let's take the same method and apply it to a different asset class. We're going to go to self-storage. How many of you want to learn about storage? Type S in the chat for storage. How many of you want to learn about self-storage? Type S in the chat. Good morning. We're going to cover a lot of ground. I'm going to take the same strategy that we just learned, and we're going to apply it to a different asset class. Lisa, Hannah, Jackson. Good morning, Miss Jackson. Good morning. By the way, if you didn't get a chance, sometimes the peas are hard to get out. I hear you. Is ice machine game over? No. Do people still need cold drinks? For sure. Good morning. Good morning. If you're new here, my name is Will. If you didn't get a chance to register, I've got a free class Saturday, August 8th. We're going to dive deeper into asset acquisition like this. So if you want to be in the class, just say me in the chat. Just say me in the chat. I'll recap what we just talked about, AK. The class is free, but it's not unlimited. I only have 200 spots. So if you can't be there Saturday, August 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern, please don't reserve a seat because that would block somebody else from getting it. So if you want to be there, just say me in the comments. We're going to learn 3 things. Number 1, how do I find assets? Where are they? Number 2, when I find them, how do I evaluate it? What do I do with it? How do I know this thing's going to produce profit before I spend or risk any money? Number 3, speaking of risk, how do I make sure that I can protect myself and learn the entire time? How you do that is we take fake money and we buy fake AI-generated assets. So you can practice the same process of buying assets without any risk. So you get all this education in like a video game environment. So if you make a mistake, you just reset the game. Cool? So if you want to be there, then you can register. Just tap on this guy. There's a little button down at the bottom. When it pops up, it'll say like class, register. Just tap on that and then go get registered. But again, if you can't make it, please don't register. Don't take somebody's spot. I only have 200 spots. It's on Zoom. I'm going to share my screen and show you deals behind the scenes. That's why we do it on Zoom. So if you can't be there, please don't save a spot. That's somebody that could be there. Cool? I'm going to sign up. No! Oh, let's go. Just to meet 200 times. All right, cool. Let's get into another asset. Once you're registered, come in the comments and say done. Then we're going to pivot and talk about self-storage. We'll talk about this next. We're going to take the same strategy, the BRRRR method. Buy. So BRRRR, what does BRRRR stand for? Buy, rehab. We buy a piece of junk. We rehab it. We fix it up. We clean it up. Rehab. Then we're going to rent it. Get income coming in every month. Then I'm going to refinance, take my profit out of it through the form of a loan. Because it's a loan, it's not taxed. Then I'm going to repeat that process. So that's what BRRRR stands for. We're going to apply that strategy to self-storage right now. Cool? Awesome. All right. So let's take a look at this. You ready? Self-storage. So if this is a self-storage facility that's for sale, if I buy this self-storage facility, I get what's active. It's already producing income. So immediately from day one, I buy income. But if I buy this asset, I get everything inside the red line. What does that mean to you? When you're looking at this satellite view and you see that I get everything inside the red line, what stands out to you? Let me know in the comments. What stands out to you? We're going to take the same strategy we just learned in real estate and we're going to apply it to self-storage. What stands out to you? Land. A huge red line. Land. Land. More land. Expansion. All that empty land. Okay, so now if I buy this asset, I'm buying it for the income it's already producing. But I also can maybe grow the income. Opportunity, exactly. Most of the land's not utilized. So let's brainstorm together. If we buy this asset and I have all this land, what are ways, let's think together in the comments, what are ways that we can grow the income of this asset? RV parking. Parking, RVs, exactly, Claudia. I could expand. Any other ideas? Before we even bought the asset, we're brainstorming how we can grow the income. I can expand and add more units. Storage, I can expand the business, yes. Boats, RVs, heavy equipment. So now that we're already figuring out, I could lease the land, I could subdivide it, all of this stuff. Yes, we're going to break down this deal. If you're new here, my name is Will. We learn how to buy assets that cash flow and we maximize tax savings every day. If you want to hang out with us, just come up here and tap on the follow button. I go live all the time. So let's break this deal down the same way that we just broke down this real estate property. We took a bird method, we broke down the entire numbers. We're going to do the exact same strategy inside of self-storage. So come over here, let's hop over here. So let's take this asset, for example. We found a self-storage facility and they're selling it, and if I buy it, I have all the opportunity to grow and expand the asset. What would that do to my income? What would that do to the value of the property and then my profit that I extract from it? So check this. If the asset right now, let's say the value or the asking price, hypothetically, is $400,000. And then let's say everybody type this in the comments, N-O-I. Everybody type N-O-I. I want you to remember and retain this information. N-O-I. A lot of times when you learn something new, there's new lingo. There's no reason you should be intimidated. Sometimes you get intimidated because it's new words. We're going to break it down step by step. N-O-I. That stands for net operating income. What does that mean? In any business that you purchase, and I've bought a lot of them over my career, you have the revenue directly from the customers. So in this self-storage facility, when somebody rents one of those self-storage units, they give me money. That's revenue. That's top-line income. But then I've got expenses to run the business. I've got electricity, and I've got this, and I've got software, and I've got that. Then I subtract out all my expenses. My NOI is my profit from the business before debt. So net operating income is essentially the profit from the business. Cool? Cool. So $400,000, let's say hypothetically, the NOI on this asset is $20,000 a year. Awesome? Awesome. But then we've determined that because I've got all this extra land, I can probably grow the profit from the business. Well, if I do that, let's say that I buy it, we buy it, and we grow that profit to $40,000 a year. If I've doubled the NOI, what do you think happens to my value? What number does this become? Let me know in the chat. Erica, let's go. Thank you for typing it out. That's awesome. If I've doubled my NOI, what happens to the value? What do you think it does? What number may it turn into? Oh, maybe. Maybe it turns into $800,000. It doubles as well. Makes sense, right? The ratios stay the same. Exactly. Well, how does this deal shake out the way that it did in the real estate that we just evaluated? Let's say that we put 20% down. We did a 20% down payment, 20% on $400,000 when I originally bought it. Means that I come up with $80,000. That's my down payment. I get a loan of $320,000 to buy this asset. I buy it for the value and the NOI. I increase the NOI. My value goes up. Call my lender. Can I get a new loan? Cool. They come out. They issue an 80% loan to value on this. That means they issue a $640,000 loan. Before they give me the proceeds from this loan, the first thing they do is they pay off the old loan. $320,000 means I net $320,000. They direct deposit that into my bank account because it's proceeds from a loan. It is not taxed. I put $80,000 down to buy an asset producing $20,000 a year. I've improved the value of the asset by looking at the satellite image and seeing how I can grow the asset like we did. Increase the NOI, increase the value, net $320,000 on an $80,000. What? What? Because it's a loan, you are not taxed. So I'm going to hold on to this thing for my entire life, pass it on to my kids. When I pass it on to my kids, there's something called step up in basis. They don't pay tax on the growth on that asset. So I bought it for $400,000. It's worth $800,000. That's a $400,000 gain. In this example, they would not pay tax on that $400,000 gain. Oh! Oh! Cost of materials, for sure. That's the evaluation process to determine if it cash flows. If you're new here, my name is Will. I go live all the time. If you want to hang out with us every day, just tap on the follow button. We're going to dive deeper and deeper into more and more assets. How many of you want to learn about assets? Type A in the chat for asset. We're going to go deeper and deeper and deeper. I'm going to show you more and more deals. Stuff that we do. My name is Will. I go live all the time. I don't teach you any theory. This is not stuff that I've read in a book or watched a YouTube video about. This is what I did with my life. I've been buying assets since I was 20 years old, and I teach you what I do. I show you behind the scenes of my life. If you want to hang out with us every day for free, just tap on the follow button. Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's come over here and let's keep walking through. Essentially what we did, in case you just got here, is I broke down the BRRRR method on a real estate property that we bought. BRRRR stands for buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat. You buy a piece of junk, you rehab it because it's a piece of junk, you got to fix it. Buy, rehab, rent, rental income, refinance, repeat. Then, once we did that, you understood that process, we applied the same principle, the same strategy to self-storage. Cool? No, closing on my next rental. Let's go, Paula! Oh my gosh, Paula lives in Massachusetts, and she owns half of Mississippi. Let's go, Paula. Good morning. Got me all fired up. I love it. By the way, if you didn't get a chance to register, we're going to move on. We're going to hip and dip to another asset right now. If you didn't get a chance to register, I've got a free class I'm teaching Saturday, August 8th. How many of you want to be in that class for free? Just say me. Just say me. I'll show you how to register. Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. I go live for free. I'm hosting it on Zoom so I can share my screen and show you deals behind the scenes. We're going to learn 3 things. Number 1, how do I find assets? Where are they? Number 2, when I find them, how do I evaluate them? How do I know it's going to produce profit on paper before I spend any money? And then number 3, what if I'm worried about risk, or I have fear or uncertainty, or I don't want to make a major mistake, or I don't want to lose my money? I got you. Number 3, how do I take fake money and buy fake AI-generated assets? I might give you access to my software for free that you can use to buy assets to produce profit over and over and over again. What? Yeah. That way you can learn without the risk. If you want to be in the class for free, just tap on this guy. There's a little button down here. It'll pop up. When it pops up, just hit the class button. And then on the next page, you can get the Zoom details. But hear me on this. I only have 200 spots. Because it's on Zoom, there's a capacity, there's a limit. So if you can't make it, please don't register. It's Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you can't be there, all good. I love you. I go live on TikTok all the time. Diving deeper into this class. So there's like some good stuff in there. But if you can't make it, please don't save your spot. If you can make it, awesome, feel free to. But I don't have unlimited capacity. That's all I'm saying. And then once you get registered, say done. Let's go to another deal. Once you get registered, say done, and then we'll talk about this. We're going to walk through what this map means. Good morning. Done. Let's go, Erica. I love it. Congratulations. Paula, how many assets is that for you? You've got the one on the Cape in Boston. I know of 2 properties in Mississippi. Yo, how do you register? Okay, to register really quick, here's how you do it. It's free. When you're in the TikTok Live, at the bottom of the screen, tap on this guy. Boop. 5 assets. Let's go, Paula. Everybody type P in the chat for Paula. Give her some love. That's amazing. So you tap on this guy down here. Boop. And then it says class right there at the bottom. How to get assets. Just tap on that guy. Boop. Then register here. Email, phone number, whatever. I'll send you the registration information. On the next page, you can also get the direct Zoom information to your calendar. Sold the Cape condo? Let's go! Oh my gosh. I think that's a great idea. It's a great deal because I had to get all the big renovations and stuff. You got out from under it. You made good profit. Now somebody else can deal with the renovations. Awesome. Awesome. All right, let's get into this. Everybody registered? Say done. Finally. Yeah, doesn't it? Oh, like I felt, finally, off my chest. Awesome. All right, so check this out. Check this. This is a map of record foreclosure rates all across the United States. Record foreclosure rates. So what this means is more people are filing for, are getting their houses foreclosed on them than any point in my lifetime. This is record rates. All across the state for a variety of different reasons. There was the foreclosure loss mitigation program, the FHA loss mitigation program. That went away. What does that mean? That means some people haven't paid their mortgage in 6 years. Listen, I understand that when a foreclosure happens, somebody loses a home. But if you haven't paid your mortgage in 6 years, what do you expect to happen? Is that fair? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, there's also ways that you can acquire foreclosures. You can acquire assets and still take care of the people. I'm going to teach you some of those strategies. But I just want you to know the opportunity for foreclosures is pretty significant. And let me show you why this might be something you want to learn about. So let's jump over here to our notes. Let's walk through this. All right? So we're on our notes. How many of you want to learn about foreclosures? Type F in the chat. How do I find and evaluate foreclosures? Type F in the comments. F. Okay, now watch this. This is one of the, let's go, Paula. Foreclosures can be pretty powerful. Let me show you why. let's go this way. So when somebody buys a house, let's say hypothetically they get a 30-year mortgage. 30 years, fixed rate mortgage, they make the minimum payment. If somebody makes the minimum payment on their mortgage for 30 years, what is their debt balance? Let me know in the comments. What is their remaining debt? Minimum payment, 30 years, 30-year mortgage. How much debt is left? Let me know in the comments. Not a trick question. They get a house, minimum payment, 30 years, 30 years, 30 years, 30-year mortgage goes by. After 30 years, everybody type 0 in the chat. There's no more debt. They've paid it off. That's how it works. 30-year mortgage, you pay it for 30 years, it's gone. Well, during that exact same time frame, over 30 years, the value of the property likely has gone up. So this is the new value. Value. Remaining debt. If we find a foreclosure at the 15-year mark, is there more debt or less debt? Type M for more, type L for less. If I find a house getting foreclosed on, the 15-year mark, is there more debt or is there less debt? Less. Foreclosures, the opening bid starts at the remaining debt. So the lender gets first bid. They get first opportunity. JP Morgan National Bank, Wells Fargo National Bank, Mr. Cooper, all that stuff. Their opening bid is the remaining debt. Not more, it's the remaining debt. So JP Morgan National Bank bids $55,000. Do I hear 56? That's how a foreclosure auction works. And if you buy it, you own it for what it's worth. So you bid on the remaining debt, whatever has been paid down, but you own it for what it's worth. Sold! Let's go, Sarah. Good morning. How did you get in here? Good morning. So that's what you own it for. That difference between what the remaining debt is and what the actual value is called profit. Everybody type P in the chat. Type P in the chat for our favorite P word. I've got like a top 5 favorite P words. And my favorite P word, profit. Huh? Amen? That's the name of the game. So foreclosures can be so powerful because you bid on it for the remaining debt. And if it's an older debt that does not equate for any taxes or attorney fees associated with the loan. So now what you're talking about is judicial states versus non-judicial states. But I can't say all the words at once. I have to go step by step. Judicial states are where foreclosures are required for somebody to get sued. In that situation, you need to have to factor in attorney fees. But a part of my process of teaching you how to find and evaluate a foreclosure in 5 steps or less includes determining all the expenses. I don't care what you call it. If it's an expense that's going to cost me money, I want to be aware of it. Non-judicial states do not require a lawsuit, so there wouldn't be attorney fees. Good point. We'll get to that. I'm just explaining the high level. Everybody else with me? Type 1 for yes. I want you to understand the basics. Cool? Can you get a loan? Eric, great question. You can get financing before you go to auction. You can get financing before you go to auction. How many of you want to look at an actual foreclosure deal live right now? Y for yes in the comments, in for no. You want to look at a live deal? Y for yes, in for no. And just for the record, there's going to be expenses in every asset that you buy. I'm not worried about the expenses. I'm worried about the profit. Don't be so afraid of expenses that you step over profit. Amen. Cool. All right, here we go. Glad we got that figured out. Let's take a look at a foreclosure. And if I'm feeling funky, I'll show you more deals. Good morning. Okay, we haven't done this one in a while. Does it cash flow? Exactly. Bank won't fund if you can't get inside. Wrong. Wrong. You can get plenty of financing for foreclosures. I go to auctions every month. Good morning. Good morning. If you want to hang out with people that buy assets that cash flow, they don't talk theory, come up here and tap on the follow button. I go live all the time, teach you. I've been buying assets since I was 20. 20. How old are you now? 75. 75 years old. Yeah. I know. I look good. I'll get my skincare routine to you later on. All right? All right? Cool. If you can get inside. Wrong. Good morning. I'll show you how to get financing. We'll talk about that next. Let's evaluate an actual foreclosure deal. 5 steps or less. Everybody type 5. How do I find and evaluate foreclosures in 5 steps or less? And then I'll show you step by step. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you, and then we'll test what I teach if it actually works. Or we're going to determine if I'm blowing smoke directly up your bum. So, foreclosures in 5 steps or less. Step number 1, what state are you tuning in from? Number 1, what state are you tuning in from? My name is Wet Willie, first name Wet, last name Willie. What's wet around here? Willie's wet. Wet Willie. Step number 1, what state are you in? I live in Texas. What state are you in, Kentucky? What state are you in, Florida? Good morning. Oh my gosh, we got Michigan in the house, Massachusetts. Oh, don't remind me, Boston. Mass, New Jersey. Good morning, Barbie Cat. What state are you in? Step number 1 of finding and evaluating foreclosures is to figure out where you live. Open up the maps. Where's my Maryland, Virginia? Iran is not a state. That's a country. Good morning, Illinois, Texas. Iran public education system, again, has failed us. All right, maybe next lifetime. Maine, Pennsylvania. I'm in Aussie. Good eye, mate. Mars, not a state. What state are you in? Michigan's a state. You're going to go to the internet and you're going to search who maintains property records in your state. Who? You go to the internet and you type in who maintains property records in Texas. Who maintains property records in Michigan. You're going to search to figure out who maintains property records. If you want to find and evaluate foreclosures, you want to search to who maintains property records in your state. Somebody maintains property records in your state. Who is that? By law, somebody in Florida has to maintain property records. You want to figure out who that is because that's your source of information. You're going to return to that source of information to find the foreclosures. So I live in the state of Texas. The state of Texas, the county clerk maintains property records. The land register may be a different state. I'm in Texas. The county clerk maintains our property records. In Louisiana, they don't even have counties. They've got parishes. So somebody else may maintain property records. You want to figure out who that is. That's your first step. You find your source, you go to your source. When you get to the source, you then look for the list of foreclosures. What does that look like? Everybody with me so far? Type 3 in the chat. We're on step number 3. Does this make sense? Yes? No? Maybe so? Tell me now, I got to go? 3. So we're on step number 3. Who maintains property records in your state? Go to that source, look for the list. When you find the list, you're going to see foreclosure announcements. They look like this. Big pencil time. We're going to play a game called Eyes on the Tip. Everybody keep your eyes on my tip, okay? This is the only time this is allowed. Eyes on my tip. Eyes on my tip. It's going to say right here, notice of substitute trustee sale. Eyes on the tip. Notice is hereby given that a public sale at auction of the property will be held at the date, time, and place specified herein. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? This is the announcement. Hear ye, we have thy foreclosure. If you'd like to bid on this foreclosure, we're going to be here at this time. Wait a minute. That's the announcement. How did I get to it? Step 3, I found the source. I found the list of foreclosures. What do I do with this? What do I do with this? Anytime we show the tip, sometimes that's the question. What do I do with this? What do I do with this? Anyway. 5 steps or less. Okay, so I found the foreclosure auction. I found the announcement. I know where it's at. But I need some information to determine if I should buy it. What's the thing when Sarah Gibbons wakes up first thing in the morning? What does she look for? Does anybody know? Just give me the first letter. When Sarah Gibbons wakes up first thing in the morning, Jason, what is she looking for? Paula, what's the first letter? What is she looking for? Trella. Brian Hooper. Good morning, sunshine. What? How come Brian Hooper only shows up at those moments? Sarah Gibbons, when she wakes up first thing in the morning, she gets the crusties out of her eyes. She barely opens her eyes, like one's still closed. One might be stuck because of the night before. It doesn't matter. Anyway, she goes, where is the D? Give it to me. Everybody type, I'm actually in Detroit. Where's Gibby? Let's go. D, everybody type D in the chat. Type D in the chat. So Sarah Gibbons is looking for the D. Where's the D? Give it to me. Where's the D? Got to start my day right. We're going to look for something very similar. Where is the D? Give it to me. But it's not the same D that Sarah Gibbons is looking for. Sarah's looking for a completely different D than... Anyway, doesn't matter. We're going to look for the debt. What is the remaining debt on the foreclosure? What is the remaining debt on the asset? So let's go to the announcement. We're going to look for the debt. You ready? Donnie Ball game. Good morning. What is the remaining debt on the asset? Well, it's going to be listed right here. This likely might be, oh, it'd be at the Rocket Classic. Let's go! Detroit meetup? Come on, Brian. $175,000. Everybody type 175 in the comments. This is the remaining debt on the asset. So if they didn't get a home equity line of credit, they didn't do a cash out refinance, there's no second lien positions that we would be responsible for. This is going to be the opening bid, and he's in the D. He's in the D right now. Wait a minute. What's going on in there? So opening bid, JP Morgan National Bank bids $175,000. Everybody in the comments type 175. 175. Because we got to take inventory of this. Does it include any liens? No. We're going to talk about that next. 175. So this is the opening bid. We found the opening bid. If it's a judicial state, there's going to be attorney fees and stuff attached to it. We'll get into that a little bit later on. So we've got an opening bid. Let's say hypothetically 175 is the debt on this transaction. But having the D is not enough in this world. Having the D is not enough in this world. If I've got good D, what am I looking for? Give me the first letter in the comments if you know. If I've got good D, what am I looking for? Who maintains property records in your state? Look for the source, county clerk for me in Texas. Find the list, look for the debt, and then I'm looking for the P. What is P? P. I'm looking for the V. I'm looking for the V. I'm looking for the V. V. I'm going to look for the value. The value. I need nice V. 100%. The value. What is this thing worth? So I found the foreclosure. I know the opening bid might be around 175. That's my debt. What's the value? I'm going to take the information from the foreclosure announcement, like the address. The DV combo always hits. I'm going to take the address from this announcement, and I'm going to go look up the value of the property. So I take the address, I look up the value of the property. Zillow says it's worth $325. Is Zillow accurate? Probably not, but it's going to give me a ballpark idea if I should continue researching. If this is true, if the appraised value really is $325, and if the opening bid on this foreclosure really is $175, then my potential profit is $150,000. Should I continue researching this asset? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Great combo. What's up, Dami? Y for yes, N for no. If this is real, should we continue researching it? My potential profit, my PP, the size of my PP is $150,000. Is that PP big enough for you? Good morning, Sue Hale. Congresswoman Sue Hale, hailing from Ohio. Good morning, Congresswoman. $150,000 in potential profit? Yes, I'm going to continue researching. That's a big PP. I look at so many PPs all the time. All I'm doing is figuring out the PPs. How big is this PP? How big is that PP? I even have people email me PPs they find. So I know better than most people how big PPs can get and how small they can be sometimes. That is a PP worth looking at more. What? So let's investigate. We're going to go look at the potential profit of this deal. But before I buy it, I've got to evaluate it. There's one more piece of information that I have to look at. PP, yeah, PP, potential profit. What's up, Eddie G, potential profit? Everybody type L in the chat. There's one more piece of information. I get my financing or my funding, or I got my money ready. I'm ready to go to the foreclosure auction. I'm ready to bid on this bad boy. I'm ready to rock and roll, but I got to go look for a lien. A lien. A lien is a debt. A debt is a lien. So if I hired a contractor to renovate my bathroom and I don't pay them the final invoice on that, I may be responsible for the debt that is placed against my asset. Because I didn't pay them for the final invoice of that bathroom remodel, that contractor can put a lien against my house. They go, hey, county clerk, this guy owes me money. County clerk says, he does owe you money. He signed a contract. He didn't pay you? Lien on the asset. So if I buy a foreclosure and there's debt attached to the asset, I could be responsible for it, but I may not be. For example, Luis in our passive income club bought a foreclosure in Collin County, Texas. It has solar panel lien. he wasn't responsible for a solar panel lien. But your state could be different. You need to look at your state laws. In Texas, you're not responsible for that. Yo! Tips to evict my roommate. I don't know that I would evict him. Is he Italian? Does he know how to cook good food? I would keep that roommate if I were you. I think he's good food, baby. Good food. Other than that, though, maybe we get him. So I need to look for liens. Where would I go to look for liens if I'm looking at foreclosures? Type the corresponding number in the chat. Step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, or 5. Where would I go? Type the corresponding number in the chat. Now we need to look for liens on this foreclosure property. Where would I go? Step 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'm still at D. Sarah, lock in. No, Sarah. Sarah can't get her mind off the D. Still have an extra room. Let's go. Dude, I'm in. Boston? I fly into Boston? Clerk of the court, I'd go to step 2. So I'd go look at the source. County clerk's office, I go to the source. Ding, 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 ding. Ready to rock and roll. So let's jump over there. You ready? We've got $175,000 in potential profit. Hartford. I've never been to Hartford. That's Connecticut? I'm in. All right, so look at this. Let's take inventory of what we got going on. This foreclosure has debt of negative $175. That's the opening bid. We found the value for $325,000. So we're looking at $150,000 of potential profit. She keeps looking at your pencil. Man, if I had a nickel for every time I caught Sarah looking at my big pencil, dude, I'd have, we have a counter over here, 46,817 nickels. That's a lot of nickels. So anyway, Sarah, I need you to lock in. $150,000 in potential profit, but we need to go look for liens. Okay, so here we go. Look for liens. Where do I go? I go to the county clerk's office. County clerk's office, here's what I find. I go up to Dallas County Clerk, and I see there's a notice of child support liens. 1 child support lien, 2 child support liens, 3 child support liens. If I find 3 child support liens, how many baby mamas is that? Let me know in the comments. If I find 3 child support liens, how many baby mamas is it? How many? How many baby mamas? 3 child support liens equals how many baby mamas? 3. 3 baby mamas. That's right. 1 child support lien, 1 baby mama. 2 baby mamas, 3 baby mamas. Too many. Eddie, hang out with me. Not too many yet. $4,900 is owed to baby mama number 1. $1,100 is owed to baby mama number 2. $24,000 is owed to baby mama number 3. So let's take inventory. Listen, we're not judging. We're here from a financial standpoint. Good morning, Tina. Good morning. We don't judge. How many of you are secretly judging? Type J in the chat for judging. We don't judge. This is a foreclosure evaluation. We're going to see if this thing produces profit. All right, so liens, negative $30,000. 150 minus 30. What's our new potential profit? $150,000 minus $30,000 means what? What is our new potential profit? We listen, we don't judge. We don't judge. $120,000 after the child support liens. Profit over judgment. Amen. Do we still like this foreclosure? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We've got $120,000 in potential profit minus the $30,000 in unpaid child support liens. The PP still got my attention. Sarah! Yes, I like it. $120,000? I'm in. No? Tony's like, that's not enough profit for me. I'm out. All right, fair enough. So ready to go to the foreclosure auction. I evaluated my liens. I looked at them. I see that, these are the liens, good to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. So I get ready. I'm going to go to the foreclosure auction. Right before I head out the door, I noticed something. At the bottom of the page, it says page 1 of 2. So that's implying that on the lien page of the debts attached to this property, there's a second page. Should I look at page 2? Type 2 in the comments. Or should I ostrich method and ignore it and just put my head in the sand? Type 2 to go to page 2. We'll look at it together. Or should I just ignore it? All right. Page 2. Spray and pray. No, ignore it. Ignore it. All right, here we go. You ready? Boop. I go to page 2 and I find more child support liens. 2 it is, Jason. I find the original 3 child support liens, and then I find 4 more child support liens. I'm no math major. What's 3 plus 4? 3 plus 4 equals how many baby mamas? Sarah, this is what happens when you focus on the D too much. When you're looking at too many pencils, this is what can happen. How many baby mamas are there? 7. We found 7 baby mamas. Oh, we don't judge. We don't judge. We don't judge. How many of us are judging? This guy has 7 baby mamas that we know of. If he's got 7, what are the odds he's got 9? Higher than the person that's only got 1. That's how math works. That's how stats work. $33,000 is owed to that baby mama. $30,000 owed to that one. $30,000 owed to that one. $39,000 owed to that one. $9,200 owed to that one. $24,820 is owed to that one. That one. So, in total, it's not $30,000 in unpaid child support liens. It's not a potential profit of $120,000. It's negative $190,000 in unpaid child support. We found an asset that's got a potential profit of $150,000 before the liens. Then we found negative $190,000 in liens. What does that mean our profit or loss would be? 150 minus 190 equals? Some babies are worth more. Some babies are older. Therefore, the child support has built up, and this guy hasn't paid it. So if a kid's like 20 years old or whatever, 15 years old, and it's $1,000 a month, and that guy's never paid, he's going to have a higher child support lien than a baby that's 6 months old. Make sense? Cool? Negative 40? Negative $40,000. If we buy this asset with all these unpaid child support liens, we would lose $40,000. So although this young man lacks the ability to pull out, we are going to pull out. Everybody in the comments say, pull out. What are we pulling out of? The deal. We're pulling out of the deal. That's what we're going to pull out of. Everybody say, pull out. You just learned how to find and evaluate a foreclosure in 5 steps or less. What? And we did it. We did it live right now. We did it live right now. Pull out. Pull out. That's right. Pull out, Ms. Jackson. Ms. Jackson, pull out. Yep. Pull out. If you didn't get a chance, I've got a free class I'm teaching Saturday, August 8th. If you want to register for the class, it's free. Just say me in the comments and I'll show you how to register. We're going to learn 3 things in that class. Number 1, how do I find assets? Oh, brother, where art thou? Where are the assets? I'm going to teach you how we find and evaluate them. If you want to be there for free, just say me. Number 2, when I find it, how do I evaluate it? How do I evaluate the deals like we just did? I'm going to teach you our process and procedures on evaluating assets that cash flow. If you want to be in the class for free, just say me. It's Saturday, August 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Final point. What if I'm scared, worried, in fear, doubt? I don't want to take any unnecessary risk. I don't want to lose all my money. Cool. I'm going to teach you how we take fake money and we buy fake AI-generated assets. So you can practice buying assets without risk. Again, that's Saturday, August 8th, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. If you want to be there, just say me. The class is free. Here's how you register. Tap on this guy. Somewhere down here. I see you. Me. Tap on this guy. It's down in the corner. When it pops up, it says class, register, how to get assets, all that good stuff. Child support is unconstitutional if you know how to use the law. Awesome, Tony. That's not the point. Tony, pay attention. What are we talking about? We're talking about assets. If you're going to go teach constitution law, that's a different channel. Good morning. If you want to hang out with us, go down here and tap on this Saturday, August 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. But hear me on this. I do not have a limited capacity on that Saturday class. It's hosted on Zoom. That allows me to share my screen and show you deals behind the scenes. If you can't be there, please don't register. I only have 200 spots in that Zoom room. So if you can be there, feel free to register. But if you can't, please don't register because you would block a spot for somebody else. Cool? Good morning, Sandy Sue. Good morning. If you want to register, come down here and then tap on it. It'll pop up. It looks like this. And then once you get registered, say done. So here's how you register. In the TikTok Live, there's a little orange bubble down here. Tap on it. Boop. When it pops up, it says class, how to get assets. Just tap on that to register. Cool? And then once you're done, say done. Bert, can you explain capital gains? Let's go. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's jump over here. Good morning. Let's break this down. How do capital gains work? We'll walk through it. And then there's ways to avoid capital gains tax, if you want to talk about that. How many of you want to talk about tax savings? Type T in the chat for taxes and tax savings. How many of you want to talk about that? Done. Good morning. Good morning. We can address some of that stuff. Let me pull this up. And we'll talk about capital gains. If we get time, I'll talk about how you mitigate or get rid of completely capital gains tax. That takes a lot of advanced planning, but it's totally, you can do it. And then we will get into a little bit more stuff on asset acquisition. Okay. Capital gains tax, bada bing, bada boom. All right, Shadin, here we go. Capital gains tax, how's it work? Done, tax savings, tax savings. Okay, we'll get to that next. If you're new here, my name is Will. I go live all the time. If you want to hang out with us every day, come up here and tap on the follow button. It's a follow button somewhere up there. Just tippy tap, tap on that bad boy. We'll hang out all the time. So capital gains tax. Let's talk about this. Capital gains. So if I buy an asset, let's say it's a stock, or it could be an asset or a house or crypto or whatever. If I buy it, let's say I buy it here and it's worth $100 per share. If that thing goes up, let's say over here, it's worth $200 per share. Well, my gain is the difference between $100 and $200. What is my gain? If I bought it for $100 and it's worth $200, what is my gain? Let me know in the comments. Good morning. Good morning. What's my gain? What's my profit? $100. So my profit in this transaction is $100. If I sold it at $200, I would incur capital gains. My capital gains would be $100. And I would be taxed at the capital gain tax rate on $100. I like that math already. Good morning. Then there's something called unrealized capital gains. So if I don't sell it, my unrealized, meaning I don't have it in my pocket, my unrealized capital gain is the same number. I just haven't sold it, so it's not realized. You're not taxed on unrealized capital gains. You are taxed on realized capital gains. So if I sold it, then I put $100 of profit in my pocket. It's in my pocket. The IRS says, that's mine, and they tax it. If you don't sell it, the way the tax law is written right now is if you don't sell it and you hold it, you still made the gain. It's unrealized. You don't have it in your pocket. It's not taxed. You know what's crazy? Some politicians have proposed ideas to tax unrealized capital gains. So if your stock portfolio has gained a lot of money, they have proposed taxing that idea. Oh, is that crazy to you? Type C in the chat for crazy. True story. True story. Politicians have proposed that idea, and it's passed in other countries. What? I think the Netherlands? Deutschland? Deutschland? I think it's passed over there. Maybe not Dutch. Isn't that crazy? It's a crazy proposal. They proposed that idea. Recently, yes, Kamala Harris, but even go back in time, it's been like, hey, that's crazy, right? Unheard of. And it's the dumbest idea. It is absolutely stupid. And then how do they pass tax law? How do they get tax law to regular citizens like us? What do they start with? Who do they attack first to get tax law to pass? Who do they go after first? We're only going to tax the who? Who? Who do they go after first? And then once they get it through, then it trickles and it gets to everybody. And that's always how it works. Going back to 1913, when they passed the 16th Amendment making income tax constitutional, they had to amend the Constitution to make income tax legal. That's how they started. They used that language, tax the rich, tax the billionaires. That's the language they use. And this is not political. It's not red team, blue team. I don't care. They both suck. That's the language they use. That's the propaganda they use is we're going to go after these people. And then once they get it through, then they're like, well, you know, and you can see that from the data. But anyway, unrealized capital gains, here's what that would look like. So let's say, hypothetically, you have, let's just go here. Let's say you had $100,000 capital gain. So now that we understand what capital gain is, let's say that your capital gain is $100,000. $100,000 capital gain. Unrealized capital gains tax would mean, like, if you look inside of your stock brokerage account, let's say you've got like Vanguard. What brokerage account do you have? If you have a brokerage account, what account do you have? If you're not investing yet, just say no in the comments. I'll walk you through some of this. You could have Vanguard, Fidelity, Robinhood, Schwab. I mean, there's plenty of them. But do you have an investment account, Schwab? So let's say you're investing and you look inside of your account. You open up your app, you go log in, whatever, and you see there's $100,000 in capital gain. Ameritrade, awesome, awesome. Not yet? Okay, we'll talk about this, Juliana. Robinhood, okay. You look inside of your account, and let's say you've got $100,000 in capital gain. The proposal that has passed in other countries and has been talked about in America is that they would tax the unrealized capital gain. What that would mean is the proposal on the wealthy was 50%. Which is crazy. A goof. 50% on $100,000 would be a $50,000 tax bill on money you don't have in your pocket. So what would happen? Here's what's crazy about this. Unrealized money, unrealized gain is money you don't have in your pocket. It's in your account. You log into Robinhood, you see it, it's on a screen, but you don't have it. It's on a screen. They want you to take real money from your real bank account, real cash, and they want you to pay tax on fake profit. The profit's not real. You don't have the profit. Where's the profit? It's on the screen. I don't have it. Oh, that's okay. Take real cash. Oh! So unrealized capital gain, no matter who they're taxing, the rich, the poor, the middle class, it doesn't matter. It's dumb because they want you to take real money from your real bank account and pay tax on money you haven't realized. Stupid. So dumb. So anyway, that's usually what they do is they propose an idea, taxing the rich. They use that to get through. And once they get it through, then they goes to everybody else. Let me show you this. Let's see if I have the data still here. We've talked about this prior. Yeah. Okay, so let's walk through this. Let's go here. How many of you want to learn how to lower your taxes? Let's go through some tax history really quick. Just nerd out a little bit. Anybody want to learn how to lower their taxes? Type T in the comments for taxes. I'll walk you through some tax savings ideas, some things that we can implement. And I'm going to give you a little bit of tax history. Just to nerd out. We haven't covered this in quite some time, but it is important to understand. If you don't know history, what happens? So let's know history. This is a New York Times article from October 4th, 1913. October 4th, 1913. So in 1913, the United States of America passed the 16th Amendment. That's what this news article is announcing. The 16th Amendment is an amendment to the Constitution to make income tax legal. So you hear people that say income taxation is not legal. It's not constitutional. It literally is constitutional because they amended the Constitution. You can go read the 16th Amendment for yourself. I'm not saying I agree nor I disagree with it. I'm just reporting on what actually happened in time. So yes, income tax is constitutional because they literally amended the Constitution. That happened in 1913. But here's what's interesting. In order for them to get public support of amending the Constitution to make income tax legal, what language did they use? Tax the rich. They were only going to tax incomes in excess of $3,000. Everybody remember this number. Type 3 in the comments. Let's remember and retain this information. United States propaganda, we're only going to tax the rich, taxing the rich or incomes in excess of $3,000. $3,000. 1913, let's use a inflation calculator. Inflation adjusted numbers. In 1913, $3,000 is the equivalent of $95,000 of income. How many of you earn $95,000 a year or more? Type 1 for yes. Anybody? If you earned $95,000 a year or more, and this happened today, you would be considered rich and you would be taxed. Oh! Isn't that easy? Isn't that interesting? Wow, I didn't know it was constitutional. Yeah, they amended the Constitution to, it's kind of crazy. It was not constitutional. Then they had to amend the Constitution to make it constitutional. It gets a little crazier. The government had like an incentive program, New York Times article, an army of spies. So if your neighbor down the street is rich and we don't know about him, will you notify the government so that we can find out about the rich people? $95,000 a year, remember. And so we can go tax them? Crazy, right? So they got their citizens to snitch on each other. Hey, you got a rich friend? What? So remember, they said they're only going to tax the rich. Don't worry. We're just amending the Constitution this one time to tax the rich, which amending the Constitution is like a big step in that direction. And they're only going to tax the rich. So what this chart represents is the percentage of households filing an income tax return. So obviously, please send me this article. I love you, but I'm not sending you anything. I don't have capacity. I love you, Michael. I don't have capacity to like one by one get this to everybody, but I do teach this live. So if you want to screen record or take notes, awesome. Prior to 1913, income tax was unconstitutional. There were no income tax returns. So when you look at percentage of households filing an income tax return, it's 0. Everybody type 0 in the chat. Type 0. Type 0 in the comments. There's no tax returns because tax returns didn't exist prior to 1913. Then all of a sudden, the 16th Amendment comes along because they want to start having income taxation. So you can see a very small blip, boop, like 3% of the population is filing income tax returns because, like they said, they're only going to tax the rich. And then they got a little taste of that stuff. You ever had something so good, you go, I got to get me some more of that? Oh, what was that? Oh, you ever had a taste of something so good, you got to get some more of that? Can you think of something you had the taste of and it was so good you had to get more of it? That's the United States government. They got a little taste of income taxes. They said, wait a minute, if we could tax the rich, why don't we? Am I allowed to be here? Good morning, Shelly. Welcome, only if you're rowdy. They go, let's tax more people. Percentage of households filing an income tax return. So then it goes up a little bit. 1918, they're taxing more people. They go, wow, this income is awesome. You're telling me the citizens of the United States work, we tax them, and we get the money? Oh! So they start taxing. Then we had a stock market crash, World War I, all these things happen. Then World War II comes along. What a great reason to raise tax money. Hey, we're going to war. We need to tax you a little bit more. So then, boom. All the people are paying taxes now. Everybody's filing income taxes. Oh, I thought I may be on the wrong live for a second. Shelly, now you knew you were on the right live. You knew. You knew. Good morning. Good morning. Then it goes down a little bit. But now look at this. Everybody is filing taxes. Isn't that interesting? From what started in 1913, we need to just tax the rich, to now everybody files a tax return. I did stay. Good morning. Isn't that interesting? Once they amended the Constitution and made income tax legal and they got a taste of it, it's all over. And this is not American politics. It's not red team, blue team. This is globe. This is persuasion. Everybody type P in the chat for persuasion, which is my third favorite P word. Persuasion. Stand by. This is just persuasion. What is the most persuasive language you can get a human to accept to buy into your idea? Us versus them. This is marketing 101. If you want to persuade somebody, us versus them. Our team versus their team. The U.S. Civil War income tax from 1861 to 1872, we're only going to tax the rich. Us versus the rich. U.S. World War I income tax, 1913 to 1920. Us versus them, we're only going to tax the rich. United States Social Security tax of 1935, we're going to tax the rich. Us versus them. It's persuasive language to get you to accept it. UK income tax, now we're going over to Great Britain, UK, the United Kingdom. 1799 to 1816 to 1842 to present. The language of the politicians there, us versus them. We're just going to tax the rich. This is how you get proposals through. This is how you persuade people. The most persuasive language in any marketing is us versus them. Canadian income tax of 1917. Us versus them. We're only going to tax the rich. Australian income tax of 1915. We're only going to tax the rich. New Zealand income tax of 1891. Us versus them. We're only going to tax. Do you see a pattern here? Type P in the chat for pattern. My fourth favorite P word. You hear me? Please email me this very important document. Michael, I am not going to email you. Say it in French too. Oui, oui. Croissant. Big P. Wait a minute. Why is your P so big? Good morning. I just want you to understand. When they say they tax the rich, what they're actually saying is they're trying to persuade you. Cool? Got to be careful. You got to be cautious. What we need to understand is the government doesn't use our money right. We're going to talk about that. But let's get into this. Let's talk about how we can do something about that. How can I lower my taxable income? How can I pull this down? You ready? Yeah. Mike's like, can you email me? No, I'm not emailing you. Good morning. So let's take this for example. This guy is earning $640,000 in the state of New York. State of New York actually going through some tax the rich stuff right now. We'll see how that works out. After all the taxes paid, his take-home pay is $396,000. Oh, 640 income turned into take-home pay of less than $400,000. All of that remaining money went to taxes. If this person went into a different state, lived somewhere new, instead of New York, he lived in a tax-free state like Texas. How rude. Good morning, Renee. Renee, I'll email you. $640,000 after paying all the taxes means that his take-home pay would be $459,000 instead of $396,000. That's a difference of $63,000. Because this person lives in a different state, they keep more money. No, you won't. Yeah, you're right. I won't. $63,000 more. How many of you would live somewhere different or consider tax savings ideas if it would net you this amount of money? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. If you net more money, would you consider tax savings ideas? 1 for yes, 2 for no. No, I'm not. I'm not emailing her. No. Me? I would. And what are people doing? Check this out. Maybe? Maybe? Okay, Michigan. David would. Renee, maybe. Maybe. So let me show you a map. Here's what the people are doing. This is a map of the United States. This is called a tax migration map. This is put together by the Tax Foundation. They're an independent organization tracking tax changes, tax law changes, things like that. If you're a nerd like me, you're on their website all the time. I am sorry. Moving to Tennessee. Let's go, Mandy. Good morning, Mandy. Mandy, how good is tax deducts? Do you love it? I love it. Good morning. Good morning. So let's take a look at this tax migration map. Good morning, Mandy. And what this represents is the blue states on this map are net positive. These are, yes, let's go. These are states that are gaining new tax revenue, more tax revenue than they lose. The yellow states on this map represent net negative. These are states that are losing more tax revenue than they're gaining. So the state of New York, more people are moving out of this state of New York in the year of our Lord, 2021. They're moving out of that state and they're going somewhere else. And with them, they're taking their tax revenue. Well, New York lost so many people, they have a negative tax revenue. New York lost $14.6 billion in the year of our Lord, 2021. California, the year of our Lord, 2021, they lost $23 billion. Oh, Florida, on the other hand, with no state income tax, gained $35.99 billion in 2021. So this is right after the pandy. Everybody's like, I got to get out of here. They moved, they dipped, they like a chip, they're gone. South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee, Mandy, they gained tax revenue. Continuing on, the trend, 2022. New York, Illinois, California lost revenue. Texas, Arizona, Idaho, Florida, South Carolina gained tax revenue. So people are waking up and realizing that they don't have to deal with the extremely high taxes in their state. They can just move, especially with working remote and things like that. They're like, I'm out of here. 2023, continuing on. New York, Illinois, California, again, net negative. They are taxing their citizens at a higher rate than other states, but yet they're losing tax revenue at record numbers. But the states that have no income taxes are gaining tax revenue. Isn't that interesting? Continuing on, 2024. New York, Illinois, California. How many of you think this trend is going to continue? Right now in New York City, they're taxing the rich, taxing the rich, taxing the rich. Do you think the trend continues? Y for yes, N for no. What do you think happens when you tax your citizens too much and they realize they can walk across the border? Yes or no? Does the trend continue? David, yes. My life, come on, let's go. Yes. I think it's going to continue. We'll see. We'll see. I think New York City is going to be an interesting experiment. We'll see how it works. I think they just announced to doing the grocery store. That's right. The grocery store with 30% discount, no matter what. No matter what's going on in New York City, at any grocery store, they have this new, like, I guess publicly run, City of New York run grocery store with 30% discount, no matter what. I don't know. We'll see how that works. The laws of economics, I'm against it. I don't think they're going to magically overcome the power of economics. We'll see. We'll see. I think it's a really interesting experiment. But here's what we're going to talk about. This is the name of the game. How do I affect my tax bill? I don't necessarily want to have to move like all of these people to lower my taxable income. What can I do to lower my taxes? Maybe I do enjoy my state. Maybe I do like the state of Michigan. Maybe I do like the state of Texas. I don't want to move. So how can I affect my tax bill? Step number one, principle number one, tax planning versus tax preparation. Tax preparation, by definition, is when you hire somebody to file your taxes. They fill out the 1040 for your individual tax return. They file your taxes for you. That's the minimum. What we practice around here is what's called tax planning. Tax planning, by definition, is when a taxpayer makes use of tax law to pay the least amount of taxes possible. How many of you want to learn how to do this? Type Y for yes. You want me to teach you right now? Type in for no. How many of you want to learn how to do this live right now? Type Y for yes. How many of you do not? Type in for no. Coach House, good morning. Dub Technic, Ivan, Florida Hockey, let's go. Good morning, Tampa. David Charles, yes. Eddie Mania, good morning. Teach! Am I in the right room? Am I in the right room? Good morning, Yoni. Good morning, Tommy. All right, so let's get into this. Let's break this down. C. All right, so this is Mark Everson. He's the former IRS commissioner. And I agree with Mark. I'm trying to send you messages, but it's not going. What's up, sweet Myra? Good morning. He says, if you don't claim it, you don't get it. That's money down the drain for millions of Americans. Now, this is the IRS commissioner, former IRS commissioner. So what that means is that he has seen, better than anybody else, that millions of Americans are not taking tax savings and tax deductions they could. What about catching up on behind taxes? So if you have back taxes, you can negotiate with the IRS. You can get on a payment plan. You might have penalty abatement. There's an entire program called Offer and Compromise. If you're new here, my name is Will. I own a CPA tax firm. I'm in all 50 states. If you need tax savings help, I'm going to teach you some of the things that you can do. Here in just a minute, I will open up tax savings estimation calls. So if you're behind in taxes, you want to negotiate with the IRS. If you want to learn strategies to lower your taxes, I'll open those up in a minute. If you want to book a tax savings call, just say me in the comments. And when I get there, I'll walk you through some of this stuff. For personal or just business, all of the above. All of the above. We do it all. Taxes are a game, right? You just got to know how to play. Amen. Amen. So let me walk you through some of this. Let me walk you through some of these things. Let me show you an example, and then I'll get into actual strategies. Me. Okay, give me a second. I'll open up the calls. I don't have unlimited capacity, but I do open up free tax savings calls every now and then. So if you want to save your spot, in a minute, I'll show you how to save your spot. But let's get to this. So this is one of my clients. She has $360,000 in income, which is awesome. That's not bad. Good life. What's not so awesome is the tax bill. $146,000. So she calls me one day. This is before she was a client. She calls me. She goes, hey, can I talk to you? I go, yeah, what's going on? She goes, I got good news and I have bad news. I go, oh no. I go, okay, hit me with the bad news and we'll end on a good note. She goes, the bad news is I owe Uncle Sam $146,000. Oh! She goes, what was that sound? I said, sorry. What did you say? She said, I owe Uncle Sam $146,000. Please, like, what do you? I go, I just didn't think I heard you. I go, okay, that's the bad news. What on earth could the good news be? She goes, well, the good news is I've got the money. I got the $146,000. I could pay the taxes right now. I said, well, just go pay the taxes. She goes, stop it, Will. I go, what? She goes, I'm calling you because if there's anything that I can do, you might be the guy that can help me. I go, what do you need help with? She goes, can I lower my tax bill? I go, good morning, Binga. Good morning. So let's understand principle number one. Type 1 in the chat. Principle number 1 of tax savings. Everybody type 1. Type 1. Let's talk about what a tax year is. Tax years begin January 1st. Principle number 1. A tax year begins January 1st. In the comments below, when does a tax year end? Let me know. Fill in the blank. When does a tax year end? If it starts January 1st, when does it end? Let me know in the comments. December 31st. Now, you can change your tax year. You can file a form with the IRS changing your tax year. Sometimes that's a strategy we utilize, but for everybody, it's January to December 31st. So if she calls me, because she's got $146,000 for some deductions April 15th, for sure. You know, contributing to 100%. But generally speaking, so if she calls me in the spring and she says, Will, is there anything that you can help me do to lower my taxes? What is my answer? Yes, type Y, in, type no. She calls me in the spring. Will, can you help me lower my taxes? Is there anything that I can do? Do we have enough time to implement tax strategy to save on taxes? Yes? Yes. If she calls me 5 years later and it's outside of this tax window, is there anything that I can do for her? Yes or no? Type in for no. She calls me over here instead. She goes, Will, I just realized 5 years ago I had a $146,000 tax bill. What I'm telling you, too late, bruh. Too late, bruh. What I'm telling you is today is July 29th, 2026. You have a little bit of time to save on taxes, but you don't have a lot of time. Can we negotiate? For sure. Offer and compromise program. So what I'm going to walk you through are things that you can do between now and the end of the year to pull down your taxable income, to save on your taxes. I'm going to show you step by step. I own a CPA tax firm. I'm going to walk you through what we did for her. And then I'm going to show you how you can implement some of this stuff on your own. So our tax bill was $146,000, and we started implementing tax strategy. One after another, after another, after another, after another. Over and over and over and over again. It's not one strategy. It's all the things that are available to her. There's just over 700 different tax laws that you can implement to help you affect your tax bill. I want to find all the ways that it can apply to your tax return legally. So when we did all of these things, that $146,000 tax bill went away. Bye-bye. She no longer owes that money. She had the money. She was ready to pay the tax bill. But after implementing tax strategy before the end of the year, she got to save the money. She doesn't have to send it in. The tax bill is no longer due. In addition to that, some of the tax withholding that she was sending, dude, you're awesome. I've learned a lot so early. Let's go, Eddie. Happy to help. So she was sending money in for quarterly estimated payments. This is called tax withholding. Prepaying her taxes through the year. She didn't get all of that money back. She got some of that money back. So that's a tax refund. This is a tax bill that she doesn't have to pay. In conclusion, that's a $160,000 swing. Oh, good morning, Jeffrey. Good morning. Good morning, baby. $163,000. So she calls me back. She says, Will, thank you for your help. I said, you're welcome. She goes, what do I do now? I go, what do you mean? She goes, I got $163,000 cash. What do I do? I said, you can take me on vacation. She goes, Will, stop it. I go, oh, all right. I was like, I don't know. What do you want to do? She goes, can we talk about that asset thing you talk about? I said, baby girl, you speaking my love language. You better slow down. I said, of course we can talk about assets. So then we take her tax savings and we find a self-storage facility listed for $370,000. Already operating, already producing income. We take her tax savings, we use that to go buy this asset. That's her down payment. The NOI, everybody type NOI in the chat. NOI, net operating income. NOI, net operating income. NOI on an asset is the profit from the business after all expenses. You've got revenue, top line income, you've got expenses, you have NOI. That's your bottom line. NOI, net operating income. $41,000 a year. So she takes her tax savings, she uses that as a down payment. She buys an asset producing $41,000 in NOI a year. She gets a little bit of debt on that asset. In conclusion, her net profit is $25,000 a year. So she takes her tax savings, she buys an asset that produces profit. Tax savings one time into an asset that pays you income for a lifetime. How many of you want to learn how to do this? Say me in the comments. Tax savings one time into an asset that pays you income for a lifetime. That's the name of the game. You take a tax year and you turn it into profit for the rest of your life. That's what we talk about. That's what myself and my CPA firm specialize in. We are the #1 tax firm with a focus on tax savings into asset acquisition. If you want to learn how to do this, I'm going to dive deeper into this. Me every day, I'm learning. I love it, love it. For the people, how many of you need a free tax savings estimate? You're like, hey, can you take a look at my situation and help me find if I'm missing tax savings? And maybe even talk about plans like this. Me? Okay, so if you want to book a tax savings call, I don't have unlimited capacity. I'm going to open it up for a handful of minutes. If you want to save your spot, just go tap on this guy. I'm going to dive a little bit deeper in how we do this. So to save your spot for a free tax savings call, there's a little button down here, tap on it. This is what it looks like on your side. I'll keep this open for a few minutes, and then I'm going to close it. I'll pull it down. So to book a tax savings call, come up here, tap on that. When it pops up, you see how you just got to scroll. What the? It's not there. Oh, I'm all out. You snooze, you lose. I don't have any more capacity. I'm sorry. I don't have any more availability. Somebody booked it. All right. I love you. So I'm going to teach you this stuff, but I don't have any more tax savings calls. I'm sold out. They're free. Because they're free, they sell out every time. So I apologize. I got you hyped up for that, and they're gone. So if you tap on that thing in the bottom, there's no availability. My bad. Yeah, you can't even go down. I'm sorry. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. How can I book a call the regular way? I've got an application. So if you want to get on the wait list for the tax savings calls, you could go to my TikTok profile. So just tap on the green face at the top. When you tap at the green face at the top, there's another green face. Tap right there. This will take you to the wait list. When you're in my main TikTok profile, just go to my site. When you tap on the site in the middle of the screen, it'll take you there, and then it says free tax savings call. So that's the other way that you get to it. I apologize. I'm completely out. It fills up every time. I offer them for free. I set together a handful of them. Just go to my TikTok profile. Tap on the green face until you get to my TikTok profile, then tap on my site. Green face up here. The green face will pop up again. Tap it again. All right, here we go. Let me show you how we do this. Let's get to, okay, you tell me, are you a business owner, type B, or are you an employee? What do you want to cover first? If you're a business owner, type B. If you're an employee, type E. And then you will give me direction on what we cover first. General Frijole, let's go, good morning. Or if you're both, type both, that's cool. Business owner, okay. E, working on B. Okay, let's talk business owner. Let's talk about some of the basics. Okay, so if you're a business owner, there's certain things that you can do that will affect your tax bill. I'm going to talk about business tax strategy, some of the things that you can do there. If you're an employee, I'll show you some of that stuff. I'm going to get to one of the most common questions I get as business owners, which is this S corporation thing. When should I become an S corporation? We're going to talk about that live right now. I'm going to compare two different businesses, both making the same profit. So when do I become an S corporation? How does an S corporation save me on taxes? So let's take a business with a profit of $145,000. If you're an LLC, type L. If you earn money via 1099, type 1099. If you have an S corporation, type S. LLC, type L. 1099, type 1099. S corporation, type S. If you're a business owner and you have no idea what's going on, just type X. That's okay. It's okay not to know. If you have no idea what's going on, type X. If you've got TikTok affiliate, TikTok shop, you're doing some Uber, DoorDash, you got some side income, then there may be something, it's like, I don't know, just type X. 1099, LLC, LLC, S. Okay, awesome. This is why people make the switch to the S corporation. Let's take sole proprietorship, Schedule C, LLC, 1099. If that's you, this is going to be you. L and 1099. This is you, silly little guy. You're going to be over here. So let's say your profit is $145,000 in your LLC, or your 1099 income is $145,000 in profit. This is you. What happens is when you are running a sole proprietorship, all of your profit is $145,000. All of your profit is subject to self-employment tax. Self-employment tax is 15.3%. So you're going to pay 15%. Self-employment tax just includes two things: Social Security tax and Medicare, not income tax, not property tax, not capital gains tax, just self-employment. So 15.3% self-employment tax times $145,000 in profit means you're going to pay $22,000 just in self-employment tax. Everybody type 22 in the chat. Your self-employment tax is $22,000. Oh! Just self-employment tax. 22 grand. 22. Everybody typed it in the chat. We're going to come back to that in a second. Gent Dog, good morning. Type 22 in the comments. We're going to compare that in just a second. All of your self-employment tax is coming off your profit. 22 grand. 22. 22, Renee. So formal this morning. Well, what if this 1099 or LLC became an S corporation? How would that affect the self-employment tax bill? This is why people make that switch. So let's say that your profit's the same, 145. Same lead generation, same sales process, same customers, same service, same product deliverers, everything is the same. 145,000 in profit. But in this situation over here, you're now an S corporation. 145,000 profit, now you're an S corp. When you become an S corporation, you have to become an employee inside of a business that you own. Now you pay yourself a payroll, a salary. That salary in this example, say, is $45,000 a year. $45,000 a year is your reasonable compensation salary. Inside of an S corporation, the only thing subject to self-employment tax is your salary. So if your salary is $45,000, you pay 15.3% on 45 grand, not 15% on 145,000 profit, lowering your self-employment tax to $6,885. What? So instead of paying $22,000 in self-employment tax, you only pay $6,885. The remaining $100,000 in profit is exempt from self-employment tax. That means even though these two businesses made the exact same $145,000 in profit, one person pays $22,000 in self-employment tax, another person pays $6,885 in self-employment tax. What? This business with the right setup saves $15,000 a year, which is not a one-time tax savings. It's recurring. So if you maintain $145,000 profit for 10 years, that's $150,000, 15,000 times 10. $150,000 in tax savings. So the rule of thumb before you take this conversation to your CPA is when you cross a profit threshold of $50,000 a year. If you're over 50 grand a year and you're not an S corporation, you want to take this conversation to your CPA. Cool? Helpful? Makes sense? The remaining 100 grand is exempt from the 15%. Awesome. And if you didn't get a chance and you want to be on the wait list for the tax savings estimation calls, you can go to my TikTok profile. I don't have any more available right now, but if you want to save your spot for a free tax savings call, when you're in the TikTok live, just tap on the green face at the top. Up here, you see that green face? When you tap on it, it'll pop up here. Just tippy tap tap. That takes you to the main TikTok profile. When you're in my TikTok profile, just tap on the site. When that bad boy pops up, it says free tax savings call. So just go tap on there, go tell me what you got going on business-wise, if you're an employee, what's happening. And then when we get availability, you can be in line for the tax savings estimation calls. On those calls, we estimate tax savings. If this will help you save on taxes, we'll tell you about it. Tappy tap his face. Come on now. Good morning. Good morning. And by the way, if you're new here, let's come back over here and talk about the core philosophy. If you're new here, good morning. Good to see you, sunshine. My name is Will. I'm in Austin, Texas. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. Renee. Renee One Guy Miller. Renee One Guy Miller. Good morning. Let me know in the comments, what state are you in? My name is Wet Willie. I'm in Tejas. I'm in Texas, mine. I'm in Texas, mine. What state are you tuning in from? Where are you at? I know we've got Missouri in here. I know we've got Ohio, Sue. I know Renee One Guy Miller. Michigan, Iowa, General Frijole. Lisa, good morning, Lisa in Utah. North Carolina, New York, Tennessee. Oh, Tennessee's so pretty. Massachusetts, Oklahoma. Florida tomorrow, let's go. New Jersey, good morning. Houston, Idaho, good morning, Mario. Good morning. My name is Willem in Texas. Oregon, good morning, Oregon. All right, so check this out. This is our philosophy. This is the core of what we talk about. Our objective is to get financially free without waiting until we're 1,000 years old. This is what I did to get financially free at age 29. Good morning, Arizona. We buy assets. An asset is something that produces passive income. In the comments, let's brainstorm together. What are examples of assets that produce income that don't require us to be there? Let's brainstorm together. What are some examples of assets? I'll kick us off. I can buy real estate. What are other examples of assets? Anybody have any ideas? Real estate. Laundromat. Storage. Love me some storage. Storage, laundromat, businesses, storage, RV park, auto shop, pie, baby, ice machines, Madison, ice vending, Airbnb, vending, yep, absolutely. All kinds of stuff, Airbnb, yeah. All of these are examples, and it goes on and on and on, but I'm running out of space. Asset, something that produces income that doesn't require us to be there. That's called passive income. So assets that produce passive income, when greater than or equal to your expenses, you're financially free. Assets that produce passive income, when greater than your expenses, you're financially free. So hypothetically, if my living expenses were $5,000 a month, and I buy storage that gives me $1,000 a month, how many assets do I need until I'm financially free? Let me know in the comments. How many assets do I need until I'm financially free? Jason, 5. This is the core philosophy. If you've never been here before, this is what we talk about. The formula to get financially free is assets that produce passive income when greater than or equal to your expenses. Instead of asking yourself the question, how many years until I can retire? We ask ourselves the question, how many assets must I acquire? You don't have to wait until you're 65 or 70 years old to retire. On average, around here, we do it in 7 years or less. What? Jeffrey, one of the members of our passive income club, did it just over 4 years. April 2022 to June of 2026. Just recently, we did a call with him in the group, announcing it to everybody. The income from Jeffrey's assets covers his expenses. What? 4 years. Oh my gosh. So if you want to learn how to do that, just hang out with us. Come up there and tap on the follow button. I go live all the time. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to peace out, Girl Scout. I've got to get to an unaccompanied veteran's funeral. If you didn't get a chance and you want to register, I've got a free class that I'm teaching August 8th at 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern. We're going to learn how to find assets that produce profit so you can retire without waiting until you're old. So if you want to be in that class, before I go, just say me in the comments, and I'll show you how to register. The class is free. It's Saturday, August 8th. Just comment the word me down below, and I'll show you how to register. 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern, we learn 3 things. Number 1, how do I find assets? Where are they? So if I want to buy assets, how do I find them? Number 2, just comment me and I'll show you how to register. Number 2, when I find it, what do I do with it? How do I evaluate it to make sure that it produces profit? I'm going to teach you our process and our procedures, how to do that. And then number 3, what if I'm scared? What if I'm worried? What if I'm afraid I might lose all my money? What if I'm concerned about risk? All of that stuff. How do I make sure that I can practice buying assets without risk? I'm going to teach you how we take fake money and we buy fake AI-generated assets. So if you want to be in that class, how you register, bye, adios, just tap on this guy somewhere down here. Over here, cool? When this pops up, it'll say class, register. That's how you register, somewhere down there. I don't have unlimited capacity, so respectfully, if you can't be there August 8th, don't register. It's hosted on Zoom. Why is it on Zoom? So I can share my screen and show you deals behind the scenes, but I only have 200 spots. So if you're going to be there and you can't be there, register. I just don't want you to register if you can't be there and block a spot for somebody else. Cool? Cool. So just tap on this guy. When it pops up, that's how you can register. You probably have like 30 seconds left to register, and then I'm going to close it, and then you can't get in. All right? Love you, because I'm going to peace out, Girl Scout. I got to get to an unaccompanied veteran's funeral. If you haven't looked into this, I highly recommend you learn about this. Here in Texas, we have unaccompanied, veterans funerals. In your state, they probably have it too. It's really awesome. So these are funerals for veterans that went to war. They never came home. This particular guy is from World War II, and they recently found him, and he's got a funeral. But he has no family. He has no friends, so he's unaccompanied. There's nobody to be there. So in the state of Texas, they have a program that they announce it, and then the public can show up and show their support. Highly recommend you learn about that in your state. Like, go look it up. It's amazing. Anytime they find somebody from World War I or World War II or any of the conflicts that we've had, they announce it and you can go. It's really amazing, and it's a great thing. I highly recommend you learn that. So that's why I got started so early this morning. That's why I'm going to leave right now and I got to get out of here. But Highly recommend you learn about that stuff. Super awesome. Cool. Awesome. All right. I got to peace out. I got to catch you on the flip. If you want to register for, go down there. The class is down there, but we're going to adios. Awesome. Dude, it's so cool. Yeah, go check it out in your state. All right. Peace out, Girl Scout. Catch you on the flip.